Hello everybody, this is Rita of the Shadow. Welcome. So this is where we left off last time, and from the very beginning, as you know, and in this video I'm inviting you to go down the rabbit hole with me. So yeah, and because this looks nice, but still there are a lot of repeating information. I was just thinking, how can we do better than this? Or is there another way of looking at things? So yeah. And as you know, I've been on the CSJoseph Discord server, and through some knowledge and information sharing, and I learned about these symbols from one of the person on there. His name is Attic Heloc, and thank you Heloc for providing these symbols. And no, I drew this myself. It's not completely symmetrical, but he will just have to deal with it. Or some of you that is graphic design major or something. So yeah, but anyways, so these symbols are, as you know, these are the 4-element symbol, and this is for TE because his explanation was TE is all about categorizing and finding parallel in things. So that's why it's 2 straight line, and TI is a cross because it's about deductive logic, finding the connection between something. So that's why it is a cross. And FI and FE completes each other into multiple circles and joined to one inside of another. So the FI is like about how one feels, and FE is about how the people around you feels. So that's why it's like this. So now we have these symbols, and then we have this round thing in the middle. So then we can put them all together in like almost a clock fashion. And I think this is something special, like we can almost call it as the source of cognition, because all of the cognitive functions are originated from this, I guess. And it's like, because there are 8 of them, so the 3 that creates the 4, which is the 10,000 things, as we said in the last video, in the 16 personality type. So yeah. And coming back to this one, so remember we talked about how there's a weight between each cognitive stack. So at least from 1 to 4. So if the hero is 100, the parent is 75, the child is 50, and the inferior is 25. So if we express them in a straight line, it would be something like this. So the hero is the parent plus the inferior, so these 2, and the child is half of the hero, or 2 times of the inferior, and the parent is the child plus the inferior. And knowing this thing, I don't know what this means exactly yet, but at least we can use this one for our next picture. So yeah, so if you combine the 8 sides of mind and the source of cognition clock, and then you put the clock hand in the middle, then it will be something like this. So as shown in the previous picture, the red is the optimistic and the blue is the pessimistic function. So, and the longest one is the hero, and the child is the half of the hero, and the parent is, I don't know, 75% of the hero, and the inferior is 25%. So yeah. So these clock hands then basically denotes your 4 cognitive functions, and that shows you which type you are. So you have FI, SINE, SITE, FINE, SITE. So you are, so actually without looking at these other ones, because the hero is pointing here and the parents pointing here, you automatically know that you are an INFP. So yeah. And each one of these is a cognitive gateway also by themselves. So if you gateway from the hero, then you become your ego function. You gateway from your parent, then it's the guardian, and the child is the gift, and 4 is the idol, right? And how about these ones, you ask? So because the shadow is the opposite in the attitude with the ego, so if you have FI here, then you have FE here, so it means that the shadow is always across like this from the hero. So it means if your hero is here, then the shadow must be here. Then you can look at these 4. So FE, so this is your shadow, and then NI. So next one is number 6 is here, and SC, so number 7 is here, and DI, and number 8 is here. So that's how you figure out your 8 sides of mind using this approach. And so it is slightly better, but I think we can do one step further. So that's how I come up with this one. So because there are more text now, but it also contains more information, so the middle part is the same. And I drew the petal around this one because I had observed that these 2, the only difference is the last letter, and same as this one, same as this one, and same as this one. So I don't know what this means yet, but it could mean that they have some kind of relationship with each other, so that's also something to consider. And there's further things we can draw from this. So for example, because your hero is here, so and each one of the clock hand points to each one of your cognitive stack, right? Cognitive function in the stack, right? So it means that if you extend the clock hand, then it means that each one of these is what people in the same quadrant would have. So that means also these are your family, basically, because you share the same cognitive functions. So basically it's like share your DNAs, right? So yeah, so only in different order, that's all. So these are your quadra, and in this quadra in particular is the philosopher quadra, And that's why the philosopher is this way and the Templar is this way. So the Templar is that right? Let me think. So philosopher. So the Templar should be this way. Templar should be this way. I think it's not quite right, but anyway, you get the point. So then the Templar is this way. This one is INFJ, and this is ESTP, etc., etc. So yeah. And not only that, then you have also like the laying down X are the people in the same tempo as you, because if you are soul tempo, then the laying down X are the people in the same tempo as you, and if you are my tempo, then you are the skinny X. So for me, my tempo would be these 4 types, and these are, so that means that the 4 sides of the mind is here. So if you just want to use the 4 sides of mind, here you go. These are your 4 sides of mind, and this is INFP, this is ENFJ, and this is ESTJ, and this is ISTJ. Sorry, ISTP. ISTJ is this one. This one is ISTP. Yeah. So yeah. So basically, it allows you to see more types in this one, and you can see all their cognitive functions. And I also write down the virtue and vices in this here. And if you want to see the particular tempo pyramid, there you go. So the pink ones are for the petal, and there's also the green one, which we will talk about next. So yeah, and these 4 here are these 4, and these 4 are these 4. Okay, I think I beat that horse a bit much, but I think you get the point. And the next one, we have what? So yeah, this one is the shadow. So just to show you another example, this one is ESFJ, which is just the clock hand flip upside down. So you know what this means? This means that I can show 8 types with just one picture. All I have to do is change the clock hands and the title. So that is also very convenient for me. And next one is for the leaf group, which I had identified, who are the SF and NTs, whereas this one is the ST and NF. So yeah, so that is another thing that you can use this for. So if you know someone is for sure an intellectual, then they're in the leaf group. So yeah, and then you just have to find out where they are exactly. In particular, if they are only NT, then you can check, N is here, T is here. So maybe you can start by checking these 1, 2, 3, 4 types. So yeah. And for Crusader, it's this way. So these are the Crusader quadra, and these are the Wayfarer quadra. And then for the heart tempo and the body tempo is this way and that way, respectively. So yeah. And for the leaf group, if you change the last letter, you will jump 2 digits. So the INTJ is here, the INTP is here. So it's different from the petal group, which they are right next to each other, and that's interesting. So yeah. And this is another example of the leaf group, which is the INTJ clock. So I just show you another example. And so imagine if you were looking at this from the top, right? So these are the leaves on the all sides, and these are the middle part of the flower. So then you can imagine like the petal group and the leaf group, they are laying on top of each other, and they are on vertical axes or something with each other. So from the top, they will be laying on top of each other, and so that means we are all coming from the same thing, and everybody is different only because of a change in the clock hand. And if your clock hand is pointing this way at this particular height, there's height and clock hand, so X, Y, Z, right? Then it makes you a particular type. And however, if you are down here and then your clock hand is like this, for example, then you are this type. Or like here and here, then you are this type, for example. So, and the 4 tempos are also like coming back together into one thing. So could this mean that we are all connected actually? So everybody is the same. We are all just different expression of the same thing. So we are all unique but similar at the same time. Isn't that interesting? I think it is. And we have so another thing is if you lay this one on top of each other, right? So not only you can like kind of see the flower from the side, but what else can you see? You can see how they overlap with each other. So if I rotate it slightly, then there will be something like this, because so the red ones are the petal group, for example, NIFE is an INFJ, and FINE is INFP, for example. So those are the petal group, right? On the other hand, if you go this way, NIT is INTJ, and FISE is ISFP. So that's how they kind of, lay on top of each other. If you choose to view it that way, you can just imagine turning, instead of this one being directly on top of each other, you're just turning it this way, and then if you know what I mean. So yeah. And I observed something interesting, so I simplified this and then I made it into a wheel of cognition, which is, you imagine there are 2 circles circular disc like on top of each other, so you can just turn, doesn't matter which one you turn, but let's say you turn the inside wheel, then if the inside wheel gets in touch with the outside wheel, then you have a type. So but there's a rule, so the purple inside wheel can only touch the green outside wheel, and it cannot have the same small letter as it. So if it's purple and it's I introverted, then it can only go with the green one that is extroverted, which means this one and this one. So this one is INFJ, and this one is INTJ, for example. And same here, if you have a green here, then you can only go with the purple one, and it must be a different letter than your own. So it means INFP or ISFP. So yeah, so that is a different way of looking at cognitive functions, but it doesn't show you the numbers, so it's not as useful, but it's still interesting, and it's also interesting how it connected to one of the sacred symbols. So yeah. And what else do I want to talk about? So if you're, because you have your hero, your ego, right? And as you develop your cognitive functions, so let's imagine, this is representing how much they grow. So if you develop your cognitive function more, they might grow. So maybe eventually it will be like reaching to the other side completely. So then that's why, the people in the same quadrant, start to look alike the older they are. And this is the reason why. And, if you develop your ego and then you develop your shadow, then I guess it would also mean that you will, because you develop your shadow, then you start, and your shadow have the other 4 functions your ego doesn't have, and it will mean like you start to develop the whole 8 cognitive functions, and then so that it may be harder to type you accurately. As you develop, you will start to look alike to other types, maybe. That is my hypothesis, and it's not proven. And so yeah, I'm just putting an idea out there for you to think about. So yeah. I think that's all. Thank you for bearing with me. Happy Thanksgiving. And yeah, so yeah. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.